Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to talk about my nail racks that we installed when we moved to this new house. And this is total DIY, so you guys can all do the same exact thing if you want to. So I'm going to walk you through everything that we used to create this and where you can get it and the whole process, and then we'll do a quick overview of the wall and what's on here. So basically, I've been wanting to display my polishes on a wall like this for a really long time. These aren't all the polishes in my collection, but these are the brands I have a lot of fun displaying and looking at all the time. I have the nail racks that I've been using previously on the walls of my other house for 3 years, 4, 5, 6 years. And I just really wanted a more continuous flow, so we decided to go with this. So basically, we went to Home Depot and we got these boards that you're looking at in front of us here. They are basically 2 inch by 1/2 inch. So the flat surface that all the polish is sitting on is the 2 inches, and then I just wanted just a little tiny bit of shelf. That's why it's just 1 inch there. Each of these racks can fit about 70 OPI, and that's kind of a wide bottle, so you can imagine for your smaller ones you can fit a bit more. And you can actually double up on the shelf, so you could put 2 OPIs here and they wouldn't be falling off, or 2 of any other brand that you would like to. Each shelf is supported by 3 brackets, 2 on each end and 1 here in the middle. They are screwed into the wall there. You need to make sure you're finding the boards behind your wall so that this has nice, good support. I feel like these boards are probably about 7 feet long, and this is how they came at Home Depot. And so you can get them cut in whatever length that you want, but I just went ahead and went with the size that they had because it was pretty accurate for the size of my room. You know, I didn't want the door opening up into the shelves. So I just went with the size that they had there, so that saved me a step. So basically, after we got home, we had to measure how far spaced we wanted the shelves. And so I took my tallest bottle, which is the OPI, and I made sure that those would fit, and then everything else will fit in there too. So then we ended up marking up the wall where we wanted all the brackets to go, and then screwing all the boards in. And it was probably, I'd say from start to finish at home, it probably took 2 hours, including, you know, the trip to the hardware store and all that. You got to tack on some more time. But overall, I would say it wasn't that difficult of a process. So if I can do it, you guys, you can do it. My shelves are definitely not perfect. They have some lines on them, for example, where Tim used one of these chalk ropes where I guess you snap it and it puts a line on everything like at the same exact space, which really saved him a lot of time, but it left these basically permanent marks on my boards. You know, there's little stuff like that. There's little imperfections, but I'm not really that bothered by that, but I just wanted to mention it because you will see it as we go to zoom in on these shelves and take a look. I think that's pretty much all you need to know about this, really. You need to be making sure that the brackets are screwing into the wall where there's a board behind. And on these ones on the side, they actually have 2 screws in each for a little bit more support. And then you just have to make sure that they're far enough apart and you just start going at it. Instead of actually measuring every between each board, I actually had a piece of wood that I picked up at the store that was this wide. So what we did is I stuck the board in like this and just held it there, and then that's how Tim knew exactly where to put the next board. So you can take, you know, you can take little shortcuts like that, but definitely don't shortcut on making sure that you use a stud finder and know exactly where these support beams are behind your wall. So I think that's about it. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at each shelf. Some of them I have doubled up, like the China Glaze, for example, because I just didn't have enough space. So they're definitely capable of handling a lot of polish and a lot of weight if you make sure to use enough support and make sure your brackets are nice and strong and you are into the support beams behind the wall. So my top shelf is where I've put my Color Club. This is a brand that I really enjoy looking at, but I don't maybe put on as often as OPI and China Glaze. It's just not as requested for people to see dupes of. There's not too much more rhyme or reason for it why they're up top besides that. As you can see, I've doubled up on some parts of the shelf. So there is a second layer behind there. This video would just be too long if we went ahead and looked at every single polish. I do have collection videos already up on my channel where you can go look at particular brands. Essie is shelf number 2, and I've doubled up a little bit on the end there. But for the most part, they all get their own row because as much as I love Essie, I just haven't collected it as much as some other things. So most of my rows are attempting to go in rainbow order, but I'm not super particular how tight I stick to that rule. It's not hard and fast for me. So anyway, these are just how I have things placed up there. And I just really love how having everything out on the wall makes it really easy for me to remember to use things, makes it really easy for me to find things for comparison. So if you are able, if you have a big wall like this, I definitely recommend. I want to say with all the boards and the hardware, it probably did come out to about $75, which those individual racks are about 35 bucks each. So it really was about the price of a couple racks, and I got way more polish up on the wall for the money. All right, the next 3 shelves are OPI, and I have this whole first shelf is doubled up. I just have a lot of pinks and reds, and I guess they're probably my least favorite to look at, really. So I love OPI, so I would display all of them, but I really wanted to display more brands, so that was what I decided to do in order to make more space. And it also makes it so I can continue to expand my OPI without having to leave like a whole rack open for me to expand into. So there's a separated polish. I'm always mixing that one up. We end up over here at the blues, and then blue's gonna continue on the next shelf. So blue's a little bit doubled up on this side, but actually extends on the shelf below it too, so that's okay. Blues and purples are my favorites. I always wanna make sure and have plenty of room for them, so we're moving into purple land. And then I have a lot of room for neutrals over here because, I don't know, I guess I really enjoy neutrals as well. And I feel like people often want comparisons on neutrals. So we're gonna move into neutral land. I'm really sorry if this camera work is too jerky for you guys. I'm just using my tripod and trying to hold as steady as I can. So we're at the end of shelf 2 of OPI. Here we are at shelf 3. We have doubled up some glitters, and then we're moving back into some more neutrals. So on this shelf, I kind of went the same thing on the upper shelf and the lower shelf, which you're seeing both right now. So yeah, you get a second look at that shelf we just looked at. It's a little bonus. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we keep on cruising over here. We're gonna make our way back over to the purples. That would be cool if my software would work with me enough that I could actually pop up little names of these polishes as we cruise on by them, but that would freak my software out. So, my editing software I'm talking about. So, can't do that, but I do have an OPI video collection that you can go look at on my channel, I believe. Time for some Zoya. Zoya has 2 shelves as well, and definitely a favorite brand of mine to collect. All the Zoyas that I just picked up from their Go Zoya coupon are not up here, obviously, because I haven't swatched them yet, so they're gonna show up in Swatch Fests. And keep on cruising. Don't have very many yellow Zoyas. I need more yellows. Lots of pinks and reds. And then the purple row is next. I wish it was a whole row of purple. That would be awesome. If you can hear Joy, she's cooing in the background. She's so excited with herself walking the other day, and now she just is walking everywhere. Okay, Zoya neutrals. I don't think I could ever get enough Zoya neutrals. They're so beautiful. So reaching the end here, and then we're going to start to see some Super Chick lacquer. So Super Chick's older bottles are here. That's the Dreamology collection, Once Upon a Time collection. Next we've got the Scriptures collection and the Project Runway collection, and then the Urban Dictionary collection over here. So as you can tell, we are making our way into Indie Land, which is right in the middle of my wall because indie makes me very happy. So I love the brand Polish, as you know. And then we're gonna make our way over to Delush. I also really love the brand Delush. And then we've got some Polish M, and I love nail polish there on the end. All right, so we've got Virago varnish on this shelf. Beautiful creams, metallics, foils. Those 1/4 creams are pretty awesome. Keep on cruising over to their neon pastels. Okay, so Pretty Serious has a very serious presence on my wall. One of the first indie brands that I started collecting from Australia. If you haven't ever tried them before, I definitely recommend. I feel like I'm going to go to edit this and all of the footage is going to be way too shaky, and I'm going to decide not to share it with you guys. Okay, the next row is KB Shimmer, and I don't have a ton from them because I've only ever reviewed one full collection, but I do have an order coming in today, so that will be growing. Coloris de Carol, I love this brand, it's so beautiful. I love the wide range of colors, especially added because of those beautiful Beach Boys Live neons. Really liven up that whole section. I have a whole collection for different dimensions. I really want to try more from that brand. There's the Virtuous Polish Neons collection. I do get asked about this a lot. You guys spot it on my wall. This brand stopped making polish for a little while, but I think that they've started up again. And here we have the first collection from 9-0. And one little cupcake polish on the end. That polish needs to go with my other indies that I don't have a lot from each brand on, but I just haven't moved it yet. So we are starting the 4 shelves of China Glaze polish, and if you've been with me for a while, you know that they have been my favorite for a long time. They don't have the best application of any brand out there, but they do have a lot more fun with their collections than I feel the other brands do as a whole. Color Club does like to have a lot of fun as well, but I usually find more consistency in China Glaze formula. So I have a lot of China Glaze because I've been collecting them for a long time. Don't worry, we're getting to the end here pretty quick. So here's the next row. And moving into purples, which I love. So as we get into this row, this is closer to the floor. So these China Glaze polishes are the closest ones to the floor. So that means my 1-year-old likes to play with these polishes, which I don't really stress out about too much. I kind of just let her do it. With supervision, of course, but what I mean is she's constantly pulling polishes off the shelf, so I just kind of let her do it and not worry about whether they're in the right order or anything. So you're going to start to see that polishes get kind of scrambled over on these lower shelves. Okay, so my China Glaze neutrals, again, I have a lot of neutrals because I just love them so much, and you will definitely see that these are all sorts of jumbled because she just has a lot of fun with these shelves. And so I just kind of put them back up each day. It's kind of like having a bookshelf in your living room. Like, you know how when you go clean up your kids' bookshelves and things are just all over the floor every single time? It's just kind of what happens because you have a bookshelf out that the kids can pull out the books all the time. Anyway, polishes as compared to books. So here is the last row. Here on the bottom, again, really mixed up, but that's how we roll. Alright guys, so that is the overview of my whole wall. I hope you had some fun hanging out with me. If you want to see I could do an updated collection including all the polishes in my Helmers for you if you'd like. Those videos do tend to be really long though, so, you know, keep that in mind. I hope you guys are having a super great day. Thanks for spending summer with me as always. And I will see you back in my next video. I hope that this was helpful for anybody wondering about these shelves. Alright, take care guys. Bye! It's time for my glitter polish, and I was going to do a whole separate video on unboxing the mystery grab bag from D-Lush Polish. If you don't know, on their website they have like a grab bag of 4 polishes where you don't have any idea what's coming in it. You can't request stuff, and then they just send it to you